Hello friends, this is Dr. S.M. Azad, Faculty of History, and I am teaching, mentoring, training the aspirants of civil services over 10 years, passed from JNU, and since then I am doing consistently of mentoring for the civil services aspirants. Here the main reasons behind that, delivering the lecture for the aspirants regarding that, there are so many myths regarding the history, regarding that what way you should have proceed to the history part of that. Because in my experiences and the way I have produced the result among the students, history is supposed to be the most safest ever optional paper of civil services examination. And it is always a balanced part of that. If you select it, if you choose it, you will find that in 1 to 20 rank you will find 5, 6 candidates or 10 candidates for the history. And overall, if you go through the ratio about last 15 or 20 years, or also from 2013 onward, you will find that history has a prominent place over there. The candidates are succeeding from the topic of history. But one of the important conjecture is that history is very exhaustive, history is very extensive, and one of the problem is that there are so many dates and events with the history, and that is the reason why sometimes people they have the thought to choose the option of history, but they don't, due to keeping the myths of that history is not at all the safest paper over there. Here I would like to make a proof or justification regarding that, according to my pragmatic experience, that many more candidates opt history and they succeed in the examination also. One more thing I would like to clear about that, you will find paper 1, paper 2, paper 3, paper 4, what we can say, the papers are there. But one of the unique feature regarding that, if you go to the syllabi of history, you will find that this is the only subject among all the optional papers of the UPSC. It has made the specific clarification of the topics. That is one of the significant part of history, and due to that specific clarification of the subject, it has been extensive and it has been extended part of that. And you will also find there are so many repetitions from ancient history, from GS point of view to the point of view of optional paper also. Here I would like to make, you can say, eliminate the myth. It is generally consensus, generally thought process, generally thinking of the people is that history is extensive, history is exhaustive, the syllabi is very long, very extensive, but they don't know what are the advantage of long syllabus, and the syllabus is as such, it is not long. It has been made a clarification regarding that. That is the way, the strategy you should have to adopt over there. The way history is extensive, it is also going to cover the whole of the part of UPSC. It begins from, if you talk about that, it begins from the 4 pillar of success. That is what? That is your PT examination. If you talk about that, that is your prelims examination. It is again what? History, then it is what? Geography, then polity, and then another part is that economy. But again, history is dominating part over in the prelims examination since the beginning. And apart from that GS, then the polity, then geography and economics. This is all you can say interdisciplinary part over there, but history play a very, very crucial role over here in your PT examination. And so far myth is concerned, so you will have to eliminate the myths regarding that. The subject is very extensive. Again I am repeating the things, it is very much elaborative, and it is very difficult to retain the dates and events and scenario. It is not as such. The approach to study history should be different. You should have to think in a different perspective, and the perspective of what? The critical analysis of the past. The second thing is what? It always reconstruct the scenario over there. So the fundamental and the background you can develop after going through the history, but the dynamics of understanding, the approach of understanding should be different. On the basis of that, the myth can be eliminated. So here I am going to discuss about that. History has over, you can say history has always edged over other papers over that, and how and why the question arises, just I am going to discuss about that. First thing is that the myth, you should have to keep away The myth should be relieved. It is what? That it is not at all a very, very extensive syllabus. No, it is the clarification of all. For example, if the thing said that Mughal administration, so in that administration the economic aspect is there, then the social aspect is there, then the financial aspect is there, then the military aspect is there, then the cultural architecture aspects are there. So it has made a very critically, a very micro line of what? Division and interpretation of that. It makes a clarity. It makes a segregation. For other paper you won't find such kind of clarity and such kind of specification where there. It is quite obvious if the things are, you can say, interpreted in a very critical way, in a very specific way, so naturally it will be an elaborative part of that. This is one fundamental thing you should have to keep in mind. Second thing, in all the paper of UPSC, from paper 1, from paper 2, from paper 3, from paper 4, and apart from paper 1, 2, 3, 4, there is also a very significant role played by whom? Essay paper. It comprises 250 marks. And apart from that, interview. So these are completely connected with the historical perspective and historical aspect. Why? The interview begins from history. A biodata is one of the specific part of that. If a candidate hails from Delhi, hails from Agra, so it is one of the important significant part of that. The historical perspective are there, and the interview begins from that historical perspective and aspect over there. Second thing, if you talk about essay for UPSC has a different dynamics. It is not an essay of cow is a four-footed animal. It has a different perspective. It has a different ideas over that. So essay, according to Malhotra committee, Satish Chandra committee report and Shashi Tharoor committee report, the essay has a different dynamics. In essay part, a complete analysis with complete planning, with complete perspective and prospective part is covered over there. And for this kind of thing, you should have to understand about the basic historical aspect. How this can be, what we can say, reconstructed. What way the thing can be constructed. Unless until you won't have the background of historical perspective, you can't write essay in a critical way, essay in a prospective way. This is one of the important thing, and the historical information is one of the important integral part of the system to understand about every discipline which is for the UPSC examination, and why it is very significant and why it is very much useful for that, because it has influence to all the papers over there, and history has super edge over the other subject over there. And once you have studied history for the whether PT or men's examination, you won't have to go with that too. What are the major characteristics regarding that? History is always static. What is one of the fundamental point? History is always what? Static. So 95% it is completely static. If you compare it with the other subject had dynamics. Even public administration, there are 50% current and 50% what we can say conventional. So that is the most dynamic paper. If you talk about political science is again it is 60% dynamic, it is 60% conventional and 40% dynamic. If you talk about sociology, it is again 70% static and 30% dynamic. So what is the advantage number one? That it provides leverage. Once you have studied history, you won't have to go repeating again and again. Once your fundamental has been clear, it will reduce your time also preparation. For other subject, you will have to go for repetition and exercises over there. This is the one important significant advantage of this one. Due to the nature of static nature, this is what we can say history advantages. Second important thing, due to static in character, what it used to happen, the paper one, if you talk about the general state section, it is a part of history. It is a part of what? History. So history is there, again dominating part over there for the general studies point of view. I am not talking about the part of what? Optional paper. I am citing that how the leverage you can find over the general studies section. So more than 60% section you will have to cover from the part of what? History, general studies section. It is more than 60% leverage is there, because history, it is ancient Indian history, then what is that? Culture, heritage, and the world history is the major part over there. This is one advantage over here. If you talk about polity, again the constitutional development is a process of what? Historical perspective, and historical development is also there. It means the influence of history is again with what? With the polity sections over there. Another significant part what we find here, if you feel about the paper third, that is the part of Indian geography and other part of that, and again the second section is leveraged with international relations, then internal security. It is what? It is the major part of what? History also, historical perspective and difference also. Another one, the paper third, again if you talk about that, if you talk about the geography and the part of what? Ethics, integrity and aptitude, this is the paper 4. Again the dominating feat of paper 4, it is ethics, integrity and aptitude. If you talk about ethics, again the moral, the historical personalities, moral thinker like Buddha and Jaina, many more elements are incorporated over there. So what does it mean? If the history is extensive, is such kind of thought you have, it is a kind of it, to just eliminate the it is not at all exhaustive part of that. The way it is extensively covered, the way it has been extensively elaborated, it shows that it is going to provide you edge, it is going to provide you advantage, it is going to provide you can say upper edge to the other candidates also in this examination. So your approach to a study should be in a multi-facet dynamics over there. That is why the core of history is very significant part over there. Since 2013, as the syllabus has been, you can say, changed, and the pattern has been designed in a different aspect, in a different way, since that time the dynamics of history has been shifted to the other papers also. So most of the papers, you can say, comes from that part over there. And one of the critical section that is considered to be the second section of what? Indian polity and IR, this is the major dynamics of history. If you talk about the world history, the complete concept, the complete ideology, the complete international policy is based on historical development. Since the time of Industrial Revolution, it is a historical process. All the revolution which has taken place in the worldwide, it is a historical process, and this historical process paved the way for a change of society in a different perspective, the change of system in a different perspective, and American Revolution, then Russian Revolution, then French Revolution. The concept of nationalism also came to prominence with the ideas of French Revolution. Even though from the French Revolution, a new discipline also came to prominence with that idea of a study of social sciences or sociology. So this way, it creates a very strong background for international relation, international affairs, and the matter of internal security, that is the part of what syllabi over there. Again, it is a historical process. If you talk about the matter of internal security, what is that? Naxalism is the part of that. Communalism is the part of that. Terrorism is the part of that. Secessionism is also the part of that. It is completely a historical development and historical process. Unless you couldn't understand about, do not understand about the historical perspective of this one, you can't understand about the internal problem of the country and the external problem of the country, international relations of the country. So the major core part of history lies with your polity and international relation. That is the important section over there. And if you talk about the part of ethics, integrity and aptitude, again the moral teaching and cultural aspect, it is associated with that. So what is significant part regarding that? And why it is very useful? It is quite clear about that. The myth of expanded chapter, elongated chapter, long extensive syllabus, it doesn't mean like that too. The way it is extended, the way it is extensive, it is not extensive. There are so many repetitions you can find over there. Just I'll discuss about that, what way it is. So it is going to provide you leverage from your prelims examination, from PT to your mains. So the role of history is quite instrumental, and I would say it was quite significant over there. So that is why this myth you should have to eliminate from here, because it has a very wider, extensive part to cover this part over there. So that is the significance of history. So no question arises regarding the myth that it is extended. That is what? That it is extensive. Second thing, apart from extended and extensive, it is also very difficult to retain the dates and events. No. Date and events has no construction, no need over here. Here is the need of what? Critical analysis and reconstruction of the past in the present scenario, and it proved very much helpful for inaugurating the ideas and perspective regarding past to the present over there. And we can learn about so many our ills and shortcomings from the perspective of understanding history. So this is the critical thinking you can evolve and develop from there. And so far mains are concerned, this is the one thing I have discussed to you. This history is going to provide you benefit. For what? It is going to provide you benefit from prelims to the mains examination. One more thing I would like to suggest to you regarding this one. Nowadays, prelims examination became the most challenging task. Even though those who appeared for 2-3 times and those who wrote 2-3 times mains examination and finally they did not clear their PT examination. What are the fundamental thing you should have to keep in your mind? The fundamental thing is that there are 4 pillars of success of what? The 4 pillars of success of prelims examination. And that is what? It is again, it begins from history, it begins from what? Polity, it begins from what? Economy, and it is what? Geography. If you assess since 2013 to the last 1919, you will find that always 20 plus questions comes from history. This dominates. Again, if you talk about polity, so historical development perspective lies with the 5 you can question over here. And after that, this paper comprises with 10 plus or what we can say 15 plus questions from this section. Again, you will find that if you could manage to have 20 questions here over there, it 25, it means you can avail 50% of the things over here, because the selection is, you can say 100 and 110 question over there. So again you are getting leverage over here. And this history, once you read history for the mains examination, your work of exercising history is completely relieved out. This is one thing. Again, the section of polity will be reduced overall. The second thing, it is what the question of international relations and all, it is going to reduce your energy over here. So again, what we can say, it is going to help you out in your prelims examination up to the condition of clearing the examination of PT examination. That is the 4 pillar of success. In the 4 pillar of that, the 2 pillar history and polity is providing you benefit and advantage over here. Now come to the point of history optional paper as a paper part of that. So it is divided into 2 sections. The section 1, part 1 is one section is there, and another part is what? Paper 2 is also there. And normally fetching 300 marks in history is quite easy task over there, and if you fetch 300 marks, then you are in the safer side, because this is the core part to succeed in examination in UPSC. UPSC can be succeeded with the ideas of what? If you are getting good marks in optional as well as in your essay paper. So the deciding factor is what? The X factor is that history. So the history is a safest. Why? Certain X factors are also there. What way you are going to do the application part of history. So far, writing skills are concerned. Here I would like to say to you how the syllabus is very concise, very concise. Only the difference is that it has certain clarities. So if you talk about paper first, it is again what we can say that ancient history. And the second is what? It is medieval history. If you talk about the second one, it is what? One section is world history and another one is what? Modern Indian history. These are the things of 2 papers over here. If you talk about this one,
if you talk about this one and make the clarification regarding this one, what we can say, the ancient history, the ancient section is what? In the civilization, if you talk about the source of history, the first thing is what? Sources of history. Sources of history, this is what? IVC, then it is what? Vedic age, then it is what? Buddhism, Jainism, then another involved, it is the part of Janpad, and apart from then Janpad, it is what? Modern history. So what it is noticeable over here, your dynamics to a study should be in a different way, because here you will have to focus, except this modern age, the cultural part of history. The cultural, you should have to pay attention for the cultural part of history. Don't go for that kind of administrative Chalukya and all that. No, you should have to pay attention for cultural part of history, and the sources of history, as you know it, that indigenous and foreign sources are also available with you. So if you understand about the cultural part of history, it is going to edge to your PT examination, because ancient India is there, then the medieval history, cultural part, art and architecture is also there. This is one of the significant part and a strategy you should have to adopt. And if you go through the cultural part of the study, the dynamic of cultural part is, you can say, completely uniform. Religion and culture is the facet part of that. Once you have studied that, your work would be completely easy, because it is going to be asked repeated manner over there. So once you have studied about that, then you can make your work easily. Same way, if you go to the medieval history, in medieval history, you should again pay to the part of what? Pay to the part of political history, administrative history, as well as what we can say cultural history. So the facets and dynamics are same. So you have to pay attention for your paper first. What we can say, ancient and medieval history, you should have to keep in your mind that the cultural history and administrative history you should have to retain, you should have to continue over there. And all these cultural and what we can say political history, it has a continuity part of that. As the gradual process is changing, that is the way the cultural history in the medieval period, it came to prominence as a composite culture over there. Sufism and Bhaktism is also there. So this way, if you understand in a very critical manner, you will find that everywhere there the repetitions are quite same. Land structure was quite same. Political structure was same during the ancient period. So political, administrative and cultural aspect and socio-economic aspect during the medieval age is almost the same. The fourth pillar of administration at the time of Sultanate period, militarist state were there. So the king was the pen and power since ancient time to the medieval time. So one concept you should have to keep in your mind. Nothing to be worried about that the dates and event. Only you should have to keep the time to you. It is what? The period of transformation. That is important for. The period of transition you should have to retain over there. So this way we can say that it is not an exhaustive part over there. And the section, the topic which has been incorporated is what? Culture heritage. So culture heritage you should have to understand about from the PT point of view, as well as main point of view, as well as for the interview point of view. And the fourth fundamental thing is that for the essay point of view, one question comes from culture part over there. So once you prepared history, you can say in a lucid manner, in a simplified manner, you could manage to deal with in a very comfortable way. And talk about the condition of paper second, that is what? World history. And that what is what? Modern Indian history. So the modern Indian history is again a very, very dynamic part over there, because nationalism and freedom struggle, this is one of the significant over there. And it is mandatory to understand about that. You can understand about that, what way the nationalism has taken place and what way India get from colonialism and imperialism to the national empire, what way we fought against the British. So different kind of political ideology, different kind of movement came to prominence. So that is what nation building process we learned from modern Indian history. Without understanding of modern Indian history, you can't understand the present political system existing as a parliamentary democracy, democratic decentralism, and multi-party system is prevailing over here. Did you get it? So it is a very simplest way to understand about that. And every person should have a proper knowledge regarding that, how the India got independence, what were the process the leader has dedicated themselves, what were the ideology they adopted over there, and that way it used to help you to reconstruct the history of the part and the critical thinking, what way the maverick leader of that time helped you to develop, you can say a nation building process. And similarly, the other section was the part of, you can say the section is that post-independence India. It is again the GS main section over there. So that is important to understand about that, and this way it provides you always leverage. Another second part is that world history, it is 70% IR. This section covers 70% the international relation and the dynamics of international relations over there. You can't understand the politics of IR, international relations, unless until you have a sound background of world history. In world history, since the development of Renaissance, Industrial Revolution, and so many revolution has taken place in the form of what? Industrial Revolution, in the form of what? American Revolution, in the form of what? French Revolution, in the form of what? Russian Revolution. So every revolution has a deep-seated impact in the society. If you talk about American Revolution, in our Constitution, fundamental rights are there. If you talk about Russian Revolution, socialism, communism is the part of that. If you talk about Industrial Revolution, again the technological development has taken place over here. So this way, French Revolution, liberty, equality, fraternity came to prominence. So this used to create a very sound background of your international understanding of world politics. So actually this prepared a background of yours that how to deal with international politics. Why? One more thing is quite significant over here. More important thing significant over here, with the ideas of what? With the ideas of world history. That is what the term is nowadays first world. It is first world. The second one is what? It is second world. It is what? Second world. Another one is what? It is third world. Another one is what? Fourth world. Fourth world. And the last one is not, but not the least one. It is what? Fifth world. Fifth world. And this concept came to prominence, originated with the development of historical process. The first concept of first world came to prominence, you know it better well, after the Second World War. So the complete world politics was divided into two blocks. World was divided into two blocks, American bloc and the communist bloc. And after that, India has taken a stride over there that the concept of what? The concept of third world. So developing country united and the process of non-aligned movement started over there. Then the fourth world, OPEC countries was the part of fourth world, and the present time the fifth world is what? It is information based society. So all these ideas come from the historical development, the historical analysis, and the critical analysis of history. If you go through that, you can develop the idea of in a multifaceted way. So you can understand about the polity of India and other countries, society of India and other countries, technological and cultural development of other countries also. And this way, the topic of history, which is corroborated to the part of what the means as a surface paper. The reason is why? Because these strengthen your complete, what we can say, information of all the papers of GS, paper 1, 2, 3, 4, because every had a historical facets, every has a, you can say, historical development, construction of historical process over there. That is why it provides a special leverage. That is why it helps you a lot for building up other information, other papers also. And this way, you can break your myth that history is extensive, history is exhaustive. There are so many events and sequencing, the dates and event you have to remember. No, this is not the fact regarding that. So history, if you can apply history in a different perspective, in a different scenario, you can go for that. And so far source material of history is concerned, you should have to restrict over what? In a very limited resources over there, because plenty of information are available with her. We have plenty of information available to the part of history, and if you see the statistics over there, it is quite simply, you can cross 300 marks in the history, and we will find so many students, they have achieved more than 300 marks over in history. So it is the safest path in the sense of what? You can fetch good marks in history. So first myth was what? It is exhaustive, it is extensive, it is elaborative, and memorizing the things are difficult. So it is completely eliminated over here. So far marks fetchings are concerned, so all the paper you can say bring out more mark. It depends upon that what strategy you are going to, you can say, adopt over here. The best strategy I would suggest to you that in any aspect, in any respect, you should have to make out your hand notes, and you will have to do note making. The things are what? It is note making. And for note making, what you should have to do, go to a precise one or two book. So far ancient history is concerned, go for R.A. Sharma book and Upindra book. This is more than enough. And something you want to make elaborative, to quote the name of examiner, to quote the name of thinkers and author for corroborating your answer over a strong way, you can go for IGNOU notes. And these are the material it is required to you. Not more than that, this one is required. Simply, in a special case, you can go with the IGNOU notes over there. Same way for medieval history, go for Satish Chandra. Go for Satish Chandra, and sometimes go for IGNOU notes BA. And if you feel need that, take the help of Google. This is more than enough for you. Don't go for search of so many notes, because everywhere the same thing has been written over there. So these are the very precise, you can say, source material you have, and it is readily, easily available to you. But one, my suggestion is very strong, that you should have to develop the things at your own write-ups, because during the process of revision, it helps you a lot. Because during the time of revision, you won't have time to go for the textbook and other part of that. And whatever you have developed your notes, your handwritten notes, that is, you can say, that is always easy to remember over there. So it will save your precise time over there. So this is the section for this one. And if you talk about the modern Indian history and world history, paper second, it is what? If you talk about world history, so the book is Jain and Mathur. It is what? Jain and Mathur book. You go through that, and not the all section of the Jain and Mathur. Very specific section you should have to go for the Jain and Mathur. And the second book is what? Again, Norman Low. So you will have to restrict to the specific topic over here, not the whole sort of things over there. This is the one thing for modern Indian history, world history. And the modern Indian history, you can go with again Bipin Chandra, and the second thing is Shekhar Bandyopadhyay. From Plassey to Partition. These are the material is required to you. Simply, and this way, the extensive source material are available with you. But one thing is my suggestion for you, that you should have to develop the skills of writing. What way you should have to write the things, because most of the thing will be appear in your general studies paper. Most of the thing, the same thing would be called in the, would be asked in the mains paper also, optional paper also. For example, Gandhi's ideas of nationalism, It is also the part and parcel of our general studies section. You should have to be very precise for writing for 150 and 200 words. And so far history is concerned, optional is concerned, you have to write in a different dynamics. And one more thing I would like to suggest to you, that is the mathematical mark used to appear in this history section is what? The mapping section. Nowadays the trend has been changed and always it is going to ask the questions from the ancient Indian history. The map location is there. That is important part, is that map location is there, and it fetch mathematical marks. It is suppose it is 50 marks, so you have to do the mapping part of that, like Amravati, like the place is what? Like the place is, another place is that Sutkajandhor, then Bhimbetka, and all together there are on and around maximum 100 sites are there, in which 100 sites sometime it is always repeating part over there. So you have to elaborate in only 25 to 30 words over there. So the mathematical marks come in the map location area over there. So this way, my friend, it is my suggestion to you and it is my very strong advice to you that history is the most safest optional ever it is rated since the period of UPSC has conducted this examination. Specifically after 2013, the history is very popular, the history is very, what we can say, dynamic, and the second thing is that most of the candidates, you can say, feel history as a difficult because the process of understanding is very dim and low. The art, the idea you should have to involve with this for the approach of constructing the history. If you study history, you can understand about what your ancestor used to do, what your you can say your ancestor achieved the title. If you talk about Indus Valley civilization, it reconstructs the history. The tradition, the culture which prevailed in the Indus Valley civilization, it is prevailing in our society, like the sign of swastik, like the worship of what Tulsi tree, like the worship of what people tree, all the things are, you can say, prevalent over here. So this is a message for you, and time and again I'll discuss more and more things regarding this one. For this, thank you, and eliminate the doubt what is in the form of myth. Thank you very much.